there, Diana from Adirondack Girl at Heart. I teach vintage and antique lovers how to create successful antique businesses that they'll love. One of the ways I do that is through these videos. Another way is through my website, AdirondackGirlAtHeart.com, where I have over 70 antique guides filled with all kinds of images and history and values. You're gonna love them. So head on over and check them out, okay? Today I have some ceramic and some sewing notion vintage and antique finds. Kind of a weird combination, but that's just what I happen to have available today for this video. So let's jump in. I have a number of plates that I picked up. Not because they always sell so quickly, but because they were super interesting to me. So the first is this little, I'm gonna call it like Amari-like dish, very Asian with the gold. It's probably 22 karat gold on there, and then some Asian images down there. It was 29 cents, so I don't think I have to explain any more than that about why I bought it. It also has these markings on the back that I thought would be interesting to research. If anybody has any idea of what specific Asian language that might be, go ahead and tell me in the comments. And then Blue Willow always gets me. This is a piece of restaurant wear, Blue Willow, Shenango. That's a New York State. Actually, it's Pennsylvania. That's right, Newcastle, Pennsylvania. And I have an article on my website all about Blue Willow that you might be interested in. I'll link to it below. It was 50 cents, it was half off of $1 at a Salvation Army, and I think it sells for about $5 or $6. Not a huge seller, but a nice piece. No issues with it at all. And then I picked up these two, they're Staffordshire Adams, the Adams pottery in Stoke-on-Trent, England. So they are featuring a New York State historic site, Fenimore House, which is now Fenimore Museum in Cooperstown, New York. So these were $1 each, and they should sell for about 10. I wouldn't typically pick up these sort of historical plates, but if they are local and pretty like this one is and a little bit older, then I will pick them up. Here's another $1 plate. It has a number on the back. Oops, I'm holding it upside down. There we go. I just thought it was so pretty. Anything with pink in it is gonna draw me in. So it just has the number 43 there. I'm gonna guess it's German or Austrian or something like that. Should sell for like $8. Making a lot of noise over there. Oops, hang on, let me just organize things. Okay, there we go. Another plate. This was half off at Salvation Army, so it was $2, and it is Limoges. Really beautiful. Limoges seems to sell well online. Not so much from my antique booth. And then here's the mark on the back. Limoges in the circle there. And then above it says GOA France. So $25 to $30, possibly a little bit more on that piece. Again, online, not from my antique booth. And then the last plate is, it's a newer piece of Delft. Paid $2 for it. I am working on an article about Delft, so that's one of the reasons I picked it up. You may just associate blue and white with Delft, but in fact it can be, you know, a wide variety of colors like this little plate. So $2, and it has the holes for hanging. So it's definitely like a souvenir decorative piece, probably $15 for that one. And then along the lines of Delft, here is a newer tile made in Holland. I paid for $2 for it also. So it's newer, a newer souvenir. I just loved the image here of Dutch shoes being handcrafted. So I'm gonna say $12 to $15 for that tile. Just a really pretty image. So while we're on Dutch, so Albany, the Albany area was settled by the Dutch. Henry Hudson came up the Hudson River in 1609. And so all things Dutch sell well from my antique booth. This was $1 and it should sell for about 15. Just really sweet Dutch shoe with a tulip there on the side. And here's a little bucket. So I picked this up a while ago. It was $1, but I recently have been making candles. You might have seen a video about that, and I think this would be perfect with a candle in it. And the only mark is a number on the base there. So maybe Japan, not sure, but make a cute candle, $12 to $15. Because they're buying the antique along with the candle, right? And here's another little potential candle container. It's from England. It's Crown Ducal, Gainsborough, England. That's the mark on the bottom. So selling this on its own, it would be a couple of dollars. It doesn't have a saucer. It's very small. Same with this. This I could probably sell for $6 or $7, but I just think it'll be great with a candle in it. This one also. And so some of you know I have an article all about mini pitchers. This is a like a ceramics class pitcher, but it's pink. It's pink. It was really cute. It was $1. If I was gonna sell it, I would price it at about probably $6, but I have my own collection, so it's going in there. My mini pitcher collection. Now, a while back, I started picking up mustache mugs, mustache cups. This one is really nice with the carriage and the horse, not marked on the bottom. I've had a couple of them for sale in my booth for a little while now, and they haven't sold yet. So not huge sellers, but for $1 and a future article on my website, it was worth it. And here's another piece, very pretty sugar shaker. It was half off of $7.50, so it was $3.25. Made in Japan mark on the bottom, but really sweet piece. $12 to $14 for that. And then here's another piece of Limoges, just a little cup, but I have been selling these quite well on Etsy in the $25 to $30 range. It was $1. Has the 22 karat gold trim there. And then here is the Limoges mark. And then this is also that GOA France mark right there. Very sweet. And the simplicity of this one, I think, is so beautiful. It was half off, so it was $1 with these beautiful flowers. Again, more of that 22 karat gold gilt trim. And then this piece is Bavaria, Germany, and $10 to $12 for that piece. So I've been saying recently how many smalls I've been selling, and that it really makes up a huge portion of my monthly take from my antique booth. So that's why you see me lately, especially with a lot of smalls. Here's a restaurant ware pitcher. So people who collect ironstone like these as well. It was half off of $3.99, so it was $2. This one was made by Walker China, which is in Ohio. And from my booth, I would price it at $10 or $12, but on Etsy, it should go for closer to $22 to $28. And then I also picked up, I think it's I want to say soap, but you'd think it would have more holes, but it's some sort of drainage plate that would be in the bottom of something. But I I loved it. I think in a ironstone corner cupboard like mine, it would look very cool, sort of leaning up against the back of the shelf. It was $1. If I were gonna sell it, I would probably list it on Etsy for $18 to $20. Either someone is gonna like it in the same way that I like it, or they need it for the bottom of their whatever for drainage. Okay, that's it for the ceramics. Now let's take a look at the sewing. Not everybody thinks of sewing as great sellers. Some of the sewing things that I buy are for projects, so I'll let you know which is which. So these I picked up to sell. This is cotton heavy thread for crocheting. So the company is Lily, and Daisy must be the brand or the sort of thread that this is. It's mercanized, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, crochet cotton. So for tatting, I'm thinking, or that kind of crochet that's very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? Fine, very fine. So somebody is going to want this on Etsy for their own crocheting project. And so I hope 20 to 25 for that bunch of thread. I picked them up in a bag. They were $2 for the 5. So I always pick up interesting darners. This one is interesting because it's pink. And as I've already said, pink gets me every time. And this one was half of $3.50. There's a line through the $3.50 there, so it was $1.75. And I have been buying and collecting them for a future article. Some of them are just super interesting. So, but if I were going to sell it, probably 10 or 12, a little bit more than your average darner because it's pink. There you have it. Okay, I also have an article on needle cases planned. So here is a, I'm gonna call that felt. It was $1 at a flea market, and here's the inside. It's got different sort of types, little pockets for different types of needles, and not handmade, but not for advertising, right? It's not cardboard, it's fabric. And so I thought it was interesting, and not worth a whole lot because it's really not very pretty. It's actually more historical from my point of view. But I make containers of sewing notions and sell them on Etsy. So I've been using old but vibrantly colored coffee tins. So I would probably tuck this in one of those tins, selling for $25 to $30 to $35. Now here are 2 paper needle holders by Singer. Oops, wrong side, Singer. And it just holds 1 needle. At least at this point. Yeah, no, I think it always just held 1 needle. So I got 2 of those. It was 50 cents for both of them. And I would probably sell them as a pair for $4 or $5. But again, it will likely go into a container, like I said, of sewing items. And then here's the last needle case. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to call it Victorian. It was $1. Cute little button up there. So the little tab, the little loop that would have held it in place has come undone. So I will fix that. And it doesn't hold any needles at the moment, but there would have been needles here. And just really lovely. And hopefully something in the $20 range for that one. Just really unique and interesting. Okay, so I picked up a couple of they're little matchbook shapes, right? But inside are little sewing kits. So Singer is very cool, I think. And maybe I would put these three together for people who collect Singer items and sell them as a grouping for like $10 or $12. Here's another one. This looks like it was a, maybe a freebie from a political, yeah, here it is. Harold Kimball for county treasurer. So a company, this one was 50 cents, offered these for businesses, politicians, whomever. Little sewing kit and a little matchbook. And like not worth a huge amount of money, but I have the I have a lot of information about sewing notions on my website, so I'm always sort of interested when I come across something new like that. Okay, now I have a bag of thread. So this whole bag, you can't see it here, but it was $1. It's very noisy. It had some cool spools like this one, quite large, no marking on either end. Just what a great look that one has. And this one as well, also on the large side. This is Belding and Corticelli. It's a well-known brand of thread. I have an article all about thread, vintage and antique thread, on my website. I'll link to that down below. And then what is this? It's like a necklace made out of bobbins. And would it have been purchased like that, or did the owner? I mean, these are manufactured spools. You can see how there's a little tag there preventing it from unspooling, but just super cool. So I'm gonna have to look around and see if that's something that people collect and would be interested in buying. The other thing, so these size spools, I make the cutest little Christmas decorations and sell them at a holiday show I do every year, and I'll link to that down below. So that's that for the thread. I'm seeing one ceramic piece that I forgot to show you, so well, I'll do that right now. So I've had a couple of these, sold them on Etsy for $38 to $42. This one is in really, really perfect condition. She's beautiful, she's pink, and she was $4.99. She had, so an antique dealer must have donated her, because there was also a tag on there for $40. Is that what that says? Yeah, $40. So just the sweetest little whisk broom. And I do have a whole article about whisk brooms. I'll link to that down below. All right, so the last few things I want to show you are some buttons. So most of them I picked up for $1 or less a card. So I bought this baggie, so just a sandwich size baggie. I bought all of the buttons I'm going to show you. The baggie was $2. Okay, so there's a set of 4 plastic, cute as can be. I might sell the card. I might put together a bunch and sell them on Etsy. Haven't decided. If we're going to sell it in my antique booth, you know, $3 or $4 or $5. They are definitely unique and cute. Also in the bag were these snaps. Another snap. So what I do sometimes with these buttons is I put them in a frame. No glass in the frame, but I'll put the little photo corners on them and put them on a piece of black mounting paper, and then a nice old antique oak frame or a black frame, and they sell for $12 to $15. I've been selling them at the Shaker show and during the year when I'm in the Shaker shop. These I just thought were sweet. So these will be framed in that way. Here's another set of super interesting, just these grapes. And here's a nice set on a pretty little card. These will also be framed, just super simple, right? but a great look. And then there's the last set from the $2 bag. That was a great deal. So then I picked up several bags that were $1. Look, these are like medical professional buttons. I mean, that image is just awesome. So I've been gathering together some nursing antiques, and I might put this in and then sell that as a grouping. I mean, I'm planning to sell it as a grouping, and I will likely add those to that. So here's another $1. Cute. This I will frame. Also, that would be cute in a nursery or in a child's bedroom. Then here is, this would be good for maybe a Father's Day gift if I framed those. And this bag was $1 for 2, so that's nothing special. Probably go into one of those containers of sewing notions that I was talking about, but there's a great graphic image. That one. Yeah, so that's the finds for today. Interesting juxtaposition of vintage and antique china with vintage and antique sewing. I hope you enjoyed seeing everything, and as always, happy hunting.